Hello, and welcome to the DecentraWise Podcast. My name is Pedro.
And I'm Miguel, and you just joined us in our mission to decentralize the world wisely.
Wisely, and what can be more wise than decentralize with Ethereum?
Yeah, well, let's talk about it to see how wise it is.
The last episode, we talked about decentralizing with Bitcoin. That is the wisest, right? It's the number one um, decentralized network in the planet.
Yeah, well, not
Right?
decentralizing, but scaling
Yeah,
in a
decentralizing is
decentralized
what we
fashion.
do. We do it with scaling. We do it with everything. We decentralize everything, right?
Yeah, we are not fans of centralized stuff, so uh, that's
So
why.
decentralizing with Bitcoin is something very, very geeky, and decentralizing with Ethereum is geeky as well. It's the number two. Um, you can go further in the list, but I don't think it's useful because why should you be pointing to number 10 when you can point to number two or number one? And
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum is still the number two chain, right? Since Bitcoin is number
yeah,
one, Ethereum is still number two, and it will be for the next few years.
I don't
Nothing
know.
points to any change on that.
You never know. You never know. But the thing is, if it is Ethereum or not, uh, one thing we can be sure, uh, it will be a hell of decentralized network because to overtake Ethereum, um, you have to be a very big boy. It's not just some random shitcoin, right?
Yep,
So,
of course.
um, and if we've worked in many other chains, so we have that understanding of the importance of uh, the network liquidity, the network participation, the community around it, all
Yeah,
those
and the
things,
security of
right?
the chains, right?
Yeah,
Because you don't need to be only to be secure. You need to prove yourself as secure, and Ethereum has done a great job doing that.
exactly. So it's not just a matter of how much money the token is valued at, or how much value locked on the chain. Uh, it's not just that. It's also um, what it means for projects, right? Even this week, um, all this buzz about Solana, and don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against Solana or in favor. I don't really care. It's not a project that I've tried. Uh, I might try if I have any other project that justifies that use of that chain, right? But this week we had a major outage in Solana because people
Yeah,
couldn't
what
approve
happened there?
transactions, right? And fuck, they call themselves the uh, ex libris of uh, smart contract chains that can process millions of transactions per second or whatever. I doubt, but okay. and we have experience in very high um, performant chains. It's not that we just used Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? And we have worked in the fastest chains in the planet, besides Solana, because
Yeah.
Solana, they just think that they can do miracles. And maybe they can. I don't know. It's what I say. I don't know, and it's not the something that I have any experience with. So I just touched it a little bit and not much. So yeah, they just add uh, troubles approving transactions, uh, and that thing for a chain that is so capable of doing gazillions of transactions, it's very odd for me.
Yeah,
For
but
instance, when we were
what was wrong with that? Because it seems
when
like
we were
there
working
was
in,
something wrong.
I don't know, I'm not sure. It's um, they talk about scalability issues, but I didn't dig further. I just heard the headlines, and
Hmm.
that's it. So, but what I wanted to say is that anything when you want to go faster than a certain limit, things break, right?
Yeah.
Because there is only so much of throughput in chips and memories and all those components that you can use, and doesn't really matter how much you uh, put pressure in, it doesn't do things faster. So that's the problem, and I think the solution that Ethereum and other big blockchains are implementing and thinking of and building on is much more secure than trying to shovel stuff through the mouth of the processors and the memories and all those things so that they
Yeah.
can process faster, or the networks, or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, you can do optimizations and stuff to make those things faster, but you probably won't be able to scale in a considerable manner uh, just by doing small optimizations, right? You need to really change the way you're doing stuff in order to change. And an example of that is creating a layer two, right? So you are just changing the paradigm of the blockchain and creating something else that it's much faster or cheaper or whatever the improvements are. But even in Ethereum, they do considerable changes and optimizations in order to improve the scalability, but it's not a large scale improvement, right? As far as I can tell. But
Can you
it
imagine
resolves some bottlenecks.
the scalability thing can be as simple as creating more and more layers and more sides layers, right?
Mhm.
uh, if you get that communication between L1 and the L2s and side chains and all that sorted out, and it seems that we are we are having a lot of progress on that. Um, I don't really see any need for any super fast blockchain that will hit them all,
Yeah.
because it's stupid. it doesn't. There is no need for that shit. And we worked on EOS for a couple of years, uh, every day.
Yeah, and the
So
solution was already
a-
to build side chains. Yeah,
and
it's
EOS is fast, very fast, and very cumbersome in many other things. But there is a lot of things that EOS had made very good, very well as well. Uh, but I don't think that being faster, having half a second block times, and all those
yeah, it's kind of pointless. But they
BS,
were doing that. They were doing that so that the blockchain was responsive enough for social media. So yeah,
and it was.
yeah,
But
yeah. It was.
the problem with EOS is was another problem. Was a problem with decentralization, right?
Mhm.
And community.
Yeah, that
Uh,
kind of killed the buzz, right?
yeah, but the technology was very good. Uh, but my question is, do we need better, faster? I don't think so. I think what we need is a very solid layer one that has very solid connection to layer twos and threes and fours and tens. And I don't
Mhm.
care what how fast they are because they will do their own shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and then you are talking about layer twos, threes, and fours, and whatever you can stack any number of layers, or you can have some sort of some other type of network architecture where nodes are just at the same not layer but at the same level and just communicating between each other and solving very specific problems. Uh, because if you keep stacking, you are solving the same problem, as far as I can tell. So, for instance, if you create a layer two to have cheaper fees, you can create a layer three to have cheaper fees on top of that layer two, but not to solve
The problem
network latency problems, for instance.
the problem is we never reached yet the place where innovation is happening on layers.
Yeah,
And I will
well,
explain.
you can, yeah, please do,
You
because I
have a
think
little
we
bit.
kind of do, right?
You have a
Because the
little
layer
bit
twos
of.
that we have are doing that.
They are doing that in a very limited
Hmm.
manner.
Yeah.
And by innovation, I'm not do. I don't mean the creation of something really cool. It's not that. It's innovation at the ground layer, at the chain layer, creating other types of chains. What people are doing is creating another Ethereum on the layer two. Polygon is an Ethereum EVM blockchain with ZK rollups. I think now is ZK rollups, and that's it, right? Um, Optimism is also that. It's an EVM blockchain for the same thing, doing the same thing, roll ups and all that, with a bridge in between to move funds there in and out and stuff like that. And that's okay. Those were the first use cases for layer twos. We had a big problem with fees and with scalability because the base layer was stuffed with all the projects and all that. So projects went some to Optimism, some to Polygon, some to Binance Smart Chain or Smart Sheet or whatever we want to call it, and that decentralized a bit because and removed the clutter because instead of having everyone on the same chain, they are now spread among multiple chains. But I'm talking about creating project specific chains, for instance, creating side chains that use the same token. Base, I cannot believe that Coinbase was the first one to create a side chain Ethereum.
Yeah.
Coinbase is probably the hardest mover in this space
Yeah.
because they have like very long roots, you know, and they were the first one to create a sidechain using the same token. The tokenomics of Base are peanuts, right? It's very, very, very cool what they did, and we could have millions of those, right? But we don't need that. We don't need millions of those. But what we need more is multiple chains doing multiple simple things, not doing everything like an
Yeah.
EVM blockchain. And I think the beauty is there. It's to create, to innovate in that area, create chains that do this and another that does that. And those chains
Yeah.
connected to a base
Well,
layer
yeah.
to move
That is
funds in and out.
that is the difference between general purpose blockchains and specific blockchains. And
Yeah.
what we have, well, 99% of the times is that you have general purpose blockchains. Yeah, but if, well, we are starting to get very specific blockchains with AI that are really dedicated to that. But that's it. I don't think I don't remember seeing specific blockchains anywhere else.
Yeah. And that's my question.
No,
Then
I'm wrong.
why?
You do for gaming.
Yes, for gaming, but they don't use Ethereum, or
No, they use EOS
they use
as
EOS.
far, yes.
Yeah,
The projects
Wax
that I know
and
use,
uh,
yeah.
United. It's something like that, and Wax are EOS based, and a few others who use graphene based chains.
Hmm.
So projects that we both worked on,
Yeah.
by the way. But the thing is, it's very rare.
Yeah.
I think we need more of that. We need chains that do shit and concentrate on doing just one type of thing and do that a hell better and cheaper than all the others combined.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
that's the point. It's that's the point of having specific blockchains, is that they will do that in the most efficient way, so they don't have to be worried about other use cases. So they are very specific. They are
yeah,
very optimized for that, and they should be really good to solve that problem.
and with things like HTLCs, for instance, hash time lock contracts on both sides, we can have atomic swaps that solves the problem of bridging in and out,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Solves it for good because there's no honeypot anymore. People, if to make a trades like that, tokens are reserved on both sides and they are released on both sides together. So
Yeah.
there is nothing holding tokens on one side while they are pairing on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and that solves a lot of problems and related to bridges and all that and hacks and so on. And I really think that's we didn't explore that area enough. Just exploring the scalability of doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Just imagine that we would do that with Bitcoin. Let's go back to the other episode of last week and let's think about, well, Bitcoin layer twos do Bitcoin. End of discussion. There's nothing more to talk about because Bitcoin does one shit, which is move funds from one point
Yeah.
to the other. And if all the others just move funds from one point to the other, that was just a boring thing, right?
Yeah, and you already have Bitcoin doing that. And the difference to Ethereum is that they added a lot of functionality and the possibility of adding functionality with smart contracts.
Yeah,
So
but Polygon does the same shit that
yeah,
Ethereum does, but cheaper
yeah,
and faster just because it's a different chain with different use. Because
hmm,
it's not much faster. It's the same shit, right?
yeah,
Uh, the other layer twos, Binance Smart Chain or any other, it's more or less the same. The innovation there is just a little bit on the roll-up parts and stuff like that. I don't, I don't want to. I'm not saying
yeah.
that
To
it's
bash on
bad.
those,
That is good.
but
Okay,
it's a little bit the same. So
it's the
it's
same.
the innovation. The innovation is not that much regarding if you compare Bitcoin with Ethereum. You have a very visible difference, which is
Yeah,
the EVM and the smart contract application. So you can create stuff. It's not like a contained functionality that you can see on Bitcoin. You can create functionality. So it's a very different. It's a huge innovation there, and you can notice. But for other blockchains, it's a little bit the same. Maybe they can do it faster. Maybe they can do it better. But there is not much innovation.
I would think that the next step after this experimentation that we are having on the layer twos doing the same shit is creating layer twos that do different things or just one thing instead of multiple things.
Yeah, I
For
would
instance,
bet for the one thing.
I would love to have a Uniswap chain that does Uniswap shit,
Yeah,
just that, with cheap fees, where
yeah,
people can assign liquidity for 1 cent a transaction and do swaps for half a cent or you know and those swaps can then be materialized on Ethereum and pay a little bit higher fee doing that, but all the transactions between the contracts and the liquidity pools and all that happen in a different chain with different fee structures. Why
mhm.
not?
Yeah.
The
That
same
can
the
be.
same thing with Aave. The same thing with other chains, with other blockchain projects that started on Ethereum and can be moved to their own ecosystem and to remove clutter on the main chain that's not needed there, right?
Yeah.
And have all the problems with fees, high fees during high volume times, and those would be gone forever because there's plenty of room uh, to have of volume in a chain that is dedicated to a single purpose, right?
Mhm.
There is no what's the name of that project? CryptoKitties.
Huh.
going there, or NFTs, or any kind of craze that happens on every bull run, uh, happening on a chain that just does Uniswap shit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope for that future to materialize. People start doing getting away from one single chain for everything, and
Yeah,
creating.
and to optimize chains for a single thing, or
Yeah.
to resolve a couple of problems at most. So yeah, but you are seeing that with like we were saying, with AI, with gaming. I don't know, with other projects, like you had, with for social media, that
Hmm.
they were kind of optimized for that. Like you had Steam and the OS, they were kind of optimized for social media, and the intent was for mostly for that. Despite they were generic, general purpose blockchain, well, more EOS than
EOS
Steam. Steam was more
is
optimized
is
for
is
that.
for social media. Yeah.
So you start to see that use case, like for having one blockchain with a specific problem solving, and it works really well, right?
Yeah, and I hope to have more on that, connecting to layer one chains. Because the problem when Steam started, it was back in 2015, 2014, if you count bit shares as well. So at that time, it was a blockchain was a silo, right?
Hmm.
Bitcoin was its own silo, and then there was Litecoin and Namecoin silos, XRP, another silo, and then BitShares started, and Steam started afterwards, and so on. So they were just silos. There was not this idea of being a layer two of anything, right?
uh,
Um,
Kind of.
no, because
Yeah,
every
they
community
were
was very
already talking.
separated.
Yeah, it is. But the technology was evolving to that already.
Yeah, but it was not a reality, and people didn't realize it fast enough. So the problem with Ethereum with Steam was that siloed ecosystem. If it would be opened, and if if Steam was a layer two of Ethereum, for instance, or of Bitcoin for social media, the impact would be, and the community behind the project would probably be much bigger, and probably wouldn't have the same faith,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, but it might be, but well, yeah, we know that what ruined those
Sorry,
chains
I
was the
missed.
community.
It's not. It was not faith. It was fate. Uh, I
Yeah, it's faith.
didn't pronounce it well. The same fate of being a community, a small community in a oligarchic kind of style that it
Yeah.
ended to be, and that was the problem of that time. I think the next social medias that will come to fruition will have a completely different fate, because they will be layer twos. And speaking of social medias, uh, I would like to shout out Noster. I really love the idea. If you don't know yet, go and find out. Nostr is an open source uh, social media protocol for tweet-like stuff. It can be used for anything, really,
Yeah,
but
it's
it is
generic social media.
it is just a
You
protocol, a
just have
messaging
Snort.
protocol.
Yeah, you just have Snort using that as a Twitter-like application.
Snort
I
is
don't know if they
one.
have. Yeah,
I
I don't know
use
if they have others.
I use Primal. Uh, you can see Primal. It's
Mhm.
Twitter-like, right?
Yeah.
And this is me, Bitcoin style. So Primal is cool. It also integrates with Lightning Network and so on. So, but one thing that I think it's lacking here, and that's why I am talking about this, is it doesn't have an incentive mechanism. The only thing that it's working uh, in this protocol for as an incentivization layer is zaps. So people can zap the posts of others sending satoshis,
Mhm.
right? That's cool. I like it. I have a few thousand satoshis there just to play with. But I don't see an incentive to run a relay node, for instance. Why should I run a relay node? Just because I like the protocol?
Well, yeah, no, it's a huge investment, right? And it's not just money; it's time, it's your brain cells
And
that
it's
you
a
need
bunch
to
of data
spend.
because if the protocol becomes successful, you will have terabytes of posts of
Yeah,
other people to
exactly. Yeah,
store,
yeah.
right?
So it
And
requires money and time.
so I really think that Nostr deserves an incentivization layer, a proper one.
Mhm.
And if I already asked this in there, nobody replied to me because I'm nobody. Um, but I will ask again and again and again, and in many other areas that I can, because I really think that's missing there. We could, the idea of Nostr as a messaging protocol is very cool. I think we need to do it more decentralized because relays are very centralized. Um, although you can say anyone can run a relay, when shit hits the fan and the cost of running a relay becomes very hard for anyone to do, you will have a centralized network.
Mhm. Yeah.
And if there is no incentivization, thought, and working, you will lose all the benefits that you have today of decentralization and creating a free protocol, censorship resistant, and blah, 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 all those characteristics. So we will have a separate episode on social media protocols someday, but
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah, we
to
need to do those.
uh, showcase a very interesting use case for a specialized layer 2 protocol to incentivize Nostr. Why not?
Yeah.
So if if no one starts that project, we will. but please do. We cannot do everything in this space, and it's a nice idea,
Yeah, we
right?
can guide you guys a little bit.
Anyway, Speaking of the current um, layer twos of Ethereum, uh, we have um, quite a bunch, right? All doing the same thing. So they are layer twos doing the same thing as layer ones, and with some different characteristics, with some different bridging protocols, with but it's more or less the same. We had two very interesting events lately. The first one was the change to proof of stake Ethereum, right? And all the upgrades that came with it. And
Yeah, that was a huge one, right? Because despite that, we have smaller patches to Ethereum. This one was huge. Sorry, this one was
so
huge. So okay, we
Ethereum
may
became
spend a little bit
deflationary,
about it. Yeah,
and
it changed to proof
Ethereum,
of stake instead of proof of work. So it's now like 99% cheaper
yeah,
to to produce one block.
and
And
the miners moved to other coins like Ethereum Classic and Kashpa and other mineable coins. So they didn't die. People were
yeah,
worried. Well, man, what miners will do? Yeah, they will mine other shit, right? There's
yeah,
plenty
of
of things
course
to mine.
and they have the infrastructure to run other coins. And well, you do have the old Ethereum 1.0 branch yet or fork, sorry, running,
Yeah,
and
they
the price is
created.
very different, of course.
Yeah, they created that shit as well. But yeah, no, it's a
Yeah, they
dying
kept it.
project.
They forked it, and some went one way, some other went the other way.
By the
Yeah,
way, I
we
should
will
have
see.
some. I should have some tokens in that shit. I never
Yeah, probably
bore. I never worried about getting
checking.
them at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but
do they
probably
have any
they are there.
value?
Yeah, I guess the value of that the old Ethereum is much lower than the current one.
Maybe I can
But
go
it's
to
there.
have
Yeah,
some lunch with my Ethereum proof of work.
you can buy pizza.
Two pizzas. Can I buy two pizzas with that?
Yeah,
I will
probably.
buy
I
them
don't know.
in.
Yeah, I don't know
What's
the
the day?
price.
What's the pizza day? I don't remember. Let me check.
Yeah, and I don't know the price of the old fork.
Twenty
But
second of May. In 22nd of May, I will buy pizza with my Ethereum proof of work. That's a promise.
yeah,
Hopefully, it's enough. I'm not sure. I don't know.
maybe. Well, I don't know. As I was saying, I don't know the price of that token anymore. Uh, so yeah, you might as well check it.
Yeah, I'm checking. Let's see. The name is Ethereum. Oh, isn't it? Oh, almost $5.
Yeah. I thought at the beginning it was around 50 or something like that, and then it started to go down, and I lost track of it because it was so down. I couldn't see it anymore.
I have to check out if I can still take my Ethereum proof of work. And where can I sell this shit? Is
I
there any
have no idea. I
exchange?
think that I don't know. I think it disappeared.
Oh,
It
okay,
totally
X.
disappeared. Uh,
We can do it on OKX, on Bybit. Okay.
Yeah, and it is
Even
amazing that.
Crypto.com. Crypto.com also supports it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, probably, yeah.
I will have pizza
It,
on May
yeah.
22nd.
It is amazing that both survive, and you even have yet Ethereum Classic. So you have the three experiments running at the same time. It's amazing.
It's the beauty
We will
of
see. We will
forks.
see which one survives the best.
It's the beauty of blockchain forks. What the
Yeah,
fork?
yeah. It's like Litecoin and other other coins that came from it, right?
Yeah. So um, Ethereum 2 or Ethereum, as they didn't want to call it 2 because it's the same thing with a
Yeah.
different with a different heart.
Yeah, it's a different
It's
technology, right? So they didn't call it because it would. We are considering it the main, the main fork, right? So we keep calling it Ethereum.
Ethereum, yes. And I agree with that change in nomenclature because it would transpire to other people that it's a different
Yeah,
protocol or a different
it is a different
project,
protocol, but it's an
but it's not.
evolution of that protocol.
Yeah. And people, general people, don't realize how hard it is to do such thing. Um, that was the first proof that Ethereum core developers know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They were able to change the engine of Formula One in the race uh,
while
without
overtaking.
without the without the car losing the second place
Yeah,
in the run.
yeah, and I think while overtaking
It's
some other guys
insanity,
there. Uh,
uh, and
yeah,
that's
yeah, it is
very
insane.
very admirable, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it was a crazy one, right? It was a huge change. They were planning this for quite a long time, and it was very well executed. So we didn't
was
see anything going wrong there. It was
was
crazy.
amazing. I confess that I was worried. I
Yeah,
didn't sell any Ethereum. I I was looking forward to for it to go as planned, but I was worried because
yeah.
there are
Well, of
so
course,
many
because yeah,
there are so many moving parts um, that man, it's a crazy uh,
yeah,
problem to solve, and those guys were amazing.
yeah. I do agree.
And now we have the last upgrade, which is also something that is very important, and it shows that Ethereum developers know, in the community, the developer community, they know what matters most, and they made it so that layer two blockchains can uh, use the Ethereum security with rollups in a much more efficient way, right?
Hmm.
So uh, if you want to create your own rollup, you don't have to have a huge pocket with Ethereum to pay fees on the main chain, right? Uh, right now, when you want to create transactions on the main chain so that you can secure your chain, your rollup with blobs that you want to store in Ethereum, uh, those cost, I don't know, gazillion less than
Yeah.
they used to cost, right? So
Yeah.
it's much more cost efficient for layer twos, and as we see, layer twos costs were like 100th or something like that. So that's what matters right now. It's to create layer twos to do multiple things, not just do Ethereum shit,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, it is to do other stuff, right? And to add functionality there.
We can think of uh, the Internet of Value like this. There is the layer zero, which is Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin is money. So the money layer is the hard money layer. It's there.
Yeah.
And then we have Ethereum on top of that, is that programmable money, right? Um, I think we should have rails, better
Between the
rails
two.
between
Yeah.
Ethereum and
Because
Bitcoin.
because you don't. So I was it sounded strange when you said that Bitcoin could be considered layer 0 and then Ethereum layer 1, but they are not communicating that well. So
No,
so you that use case, we are not taking advantage of that.
and we should. And for instance, Ethereum could should implement um, natively an HTLC mechanism, or we can just have a standard HTLC contract on Ethereum or something like that. I don't know. Something that we could use to bridge Bitcoin in
Mhm.
a decentralized fashion uh, between the two chains. Of course, we have wrapped Bitcoin and all that, but wrapped Bitcoin is it's a bridge that is not taking advantage of HDLC contracts that Bitcoin has, or
Mhm.
at least I don't think so. Um, so I think we could do better in that area to bridge tokens between the chains
Yeah.
without any without creating any honeypot or stuff like that, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree.
then afterwards, from Ethereum to uh, further, we could have any type of value chain built, or any type of finance, social media, uh, art, collectibles, many things
Mhm.
anchored in Ethereum using the security of the network that is robust like hell, and providing different things, not programmability. Programmability is already there in Ethereum,
Yeah.
right? We already have multiple chains providing programmability as well, so that most of
Mhm.
the projects don't need to be on layer one, right?
Yeah.
Let's do other shit now. Let's create gazillions of blockchains for doing shit.
Yeah.
Different shit. Yeah. And always hanker down to Ethereum. Why not?
Yeah, well, for me it sounds really good that you create a specific chain to solve a specific problem, and then just base your security and on an existing blockchain like Ethereum or Bitcoin. It makes a lot of sense to do that, and it would optimize a lot. But even though that you don't consider it again, if you can also try not to consider it a layer two, but as a side chain. Because if you have a side chain, you are not dependent on a single layer one. You can have a side chain to solve a very specific problem, and other chains can just communicate with that one
Yeah.
to solve that problem.
And we have the example of Base that they show that it's possible to have a sidechain and still have a network that is capable of surviving. You don't have your own token, and you don't need, because
Mhm.
you charge fees, and fees make your network capable of using Ethereum as the anchoring layer, and uh, possibly even generate profits. So why not, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to to do it the other way around, and you want to have your own token, so that you can do other magic stuff, because we are magicians, we create
Magic
tokens,
stuff is good.
and magic Internet of Money is a reality for us, right? So if you want to go that route, you can do it the other way around, which is you have your own chain, your token is bridged inside out instead of outside in, right?
Mhm.
You have a wrapped token in the main chain, Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
And you bridge your token to the main chain, if you can, using HTLC contracts, so
Mhm.
that you can uh, lock the tokens while they are being exchanged on both
Yeah.
sides. And you have a bridge that is not uh, easy to hack, and then you you are able to mint tokens on the main chain
Mhm.
and trade them where there is money to be traded.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of things that you can do as a developer, and I really think that we can help creating this idea a reality. And yeah, we will soon share with you guys some other stuff that we are preparing for our community. Uh, but yeah, this is something that we thought a lot, and I really think that it's a good idea to build more things around Ethereum and create Ethereum as the programmable money layer where multiple other things take care of uh, specific problems, and also the regular ones, which is ZK, Rollups, Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum,
Yeah.
Binance Smart Chain, all those doing what they do, which is creating alternative planets where people can play the same
Mhm.
thing that they do on Ethereum. That's useful, but I think we can go further than that and do.
Yeah, well, I think what we'll end up is to having the Ethereum blockchain to have some business logic there, and but only for critical, really critical stuff, which is actually what we intend to do in a blockchain. It's only the very, very critical stuff. But then you will have a layer two, which is cheaper, so you can put more stuff there, not so critical, but you still want to maintain it in a blockchain, and you want to keep it there, and you want to be public, and you want to be open, and you want to be transparent, and you want to be all of that, but in a cheaper way. So you go for layer two, or some other layer three eventually, when the event comes up to do that. So you will have those use cases for that, so that we can expand the implementation on the blockchain, especially on layer twos where it's not so critical to have that data, and keep the really critical data, and well, because it's really expensive to keep it in Ethereum, uh, to for only for the critical stuff for the Ethereum or layer one stuff. So I think we might fall into that.
Yeah, I think it's the most probable way for this to evolve. And uh, one thing that is very important, and many people is worried about, me included, is user experience.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
User experience in Ethereum sucks. I know that this
Well,
is not
it sucks
very
in all of it.
in all blockchains. User experience is very terrible,
Yeah.
to be polite.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think it's natural because that's where the security is, and it's not easy of a job to be fucking hardly secured and be
Yeah.
simple. There's no such
Yeah,
thing.
well, and it's
Uh,
not only that. We are talking about different blockchains. So imagining that you have tokens on different blockchains, you don't have a centralized place where you can check it. You have your wallets, but your wallets are showing specifically uh, the tokens of one blockchain. So if you want to see the tokens of another blockchain, you have to go and change your network. So now you can see the tokens on your layer two, but you are not seeing what you have on layer one. So it's not integrated. And I'm just talking about tokens. I'm not even talking about smart contracts and applications. Applications can do other things. They can connect to several blockchains at the same time, but how many are doing that? I don't think you have many applications connecting to several networks at the same time.
there are a bit, but I don't think that's the best way. Uh, we had to do it, of course, but what I think of the ideal user experience is the user experience of Web 2, or even less than that. You just go there and start doing things. You don't have to create an account, you don't have to do anything. You start doing shit. And you don't know that there are keys involved at all until you
Mhm.
learn what the key is and you want to back up your stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And if you want to experiment with such a user interface, again, check Noster. That's amazing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You
They are
create an
implementing
account,
some nice stuff there.
you create your account just by supplying a username, not even
Hmm.
supplying a password. Who gives a shit about your password? And I don't care, right? You just create a PIN to protect your account on your mobile, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's local on your mobile. No one knows your PIN or whatever. It's just to activate the what's the name of that facial thing or
Hmm.
fingerprint thing, and that's it,
Yeah.
right? So there are keys involved in Nostr as well. There is a public key, which is your account, and there's
Yeah,
a
but you
private
don't
key
see it.
for you to sign your posts. But you only realize that when you want to back up your profile,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The best user experience that you can have, uh, and that can only be done uh, when you control all the bits and pieces of the place where you store data, right? Uh, if you are using Ethereum main chain or any other layer two of Ethereum, uh, general purpose layer twos, you will have to use the MetaMask thing or the browser extension thing or
Yeah.
anything like that, or some very clunky thing like Wallet Connect or whatever. Explain that to someone that is not in this business, in
Yeah.
this industry,
Yeah. What the hell that is?
and they just quit using your product before they even started. I had
Yeah.
that happening to my projects uh, because of that. Because who gives a fuck of asymmetric encryption?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Uh,
quite complex. These are quite complex, and it's not only the technology that is complex. It's the concepts. The concepts are not that simple for the user, for the regular person to understand. And if they find this difficult, they will not use it. And we see people experiencing that difficulty every day. Uh,
yeah, that's the problem. They eventually get it. It's not that they
no,
are
well, if they
stupid.
try enough,
They will eventually get it. But if it is the first thing that they have to do in your product, they will move to the next one.
yeah,
So if your product is a Facebook of Web3, they will stop use. They won't even start to use your product. They will go
yeah,
to Facebook, whatever, in Web2 and create their single sign-on thing that they can sign on with in everything and lose access to everything at once if they get hacked, but they don't give a fuck
yeah,
because they are regular users, right? And it's just easy. It's press a button and that's it,
yeah,
and it's done. And they don't have to learn a new thing,
yeah. Of course.
which nobody really likes to have to do work before they get entertainment, right? So they want to be entertained by using your thing,
Yeah,
or they want to do whatever you are providing to them. And if they get a lot of roadblocks in the process, they just move on. And that has been one of the biggest problems in adoption of Web3.
hmm,
And if we create some layer twos or layer threes that don't have much value implications, and they do just that shit that they need to do, and the value is synchronized with the layer one chain or something like that, or we provide them layers, uh, for instance, with different keys for doing different things, which has been tried and
Oh yeah.
done in graphene blockchains, in EOS, and many
But it's a
others.
total mess. That is a total mess.
But it's good for the user interface, because when you separate the value from the actions of the user, the user key
Yeah, I totally
to
get
these
it.
simple actions can be
Yeah, I
stored on
totally get it. But for the
on
regular user is a total mess. They don't even know what the key is, let alone three keys.
but they don't have to do a single thing. If they if you use the same idea as Noster, right? They create everything for
Hmm.
you,
Yeah.
and you don't have to realize that there is any key involved.
Hmm.
But on your browser, it's only stored your publication key, for instance,
Hmm.
so that you can interact with the system right away,
Yeah,
right?
and without the knowledge
And
requirements
when you
that.
back up, you back everything. You back
Yeah,
everything up. And
yeah,
when you want to do some transactions that require value, then you will have to authorize with a different
yes.
thing
Hmm.
that you don't even know that it's a key, but you can just do that by providing something. I don't know. There is a lot. The sky is the limit of things that can be done, because nothing has been done. So,
Yeah,
or just very small things
yeah.
until
Well,
now.
that is quite a lot of experiments, which kind of failed, but we are able to learn from those.
We
Yeah,
have MetaMask, which is cool for geeks like
yeah,
us,
hmm,
but for the regular user, it's a pain.
yeah,
So I don't think the project is a bad project. MetaMask is cool for geeks, but if we want to open this shit to more people than geeks, it's not that project, that interface is bad for other people, right?
yeah,
So, well, how can we have a different interface? We need to change the underlying things, because if we want to have the same API but implement a different interface on top of that, then we're screwed,
yeah.
right? So we need to change the API,
Hmm.
and in order to change the API, maybe we need to have another layer for doing
Yeah,
that,
maybe.
because
Yeah,
changing the API of Ethereum is not easy, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I really think that that's the proper way to see
yeah. To
things,
scale that. Yeah,
to uh, go for mass adoption and create the next big applications uh, for millions of users or billions of users.
hmm,
I I think we have to do this. I think we need
yeah,
to. We should do it decentralized. That's what we are here for, right?
yeah,
Let's not close our eyes to decentralization and do centralized shit, because that's Web 2 shit,
yeah,
right? Don't do that. Do decentralized stuff. And to do decentralized stuff, we have all the problems of decentralized networks, right?
hmm,
But
yeah, yeah. We do.
that's a good thing. It's still interesting to do, right? Because doing boring stuff like databases and stuff like that, and load balancing stuff, and
Yeah.
that's Web 2 shit, right?
Yeah.
Uh, let's do properly decentralized networks that have an impact on usability of your applications, and create new opportunities for our users to use blockchain without realizing they are using blockchain.
Yeah.
And that's, I really think that it's the killer app of, if not this bull run, the next one.
Yeah. It might as well. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys, we are reaching the end of the episode. Please like and subscribe. And if you find this information useful, or if some friend of yours finds this information useful, don't forget to share with them. Um, it helps us a lot with the YouTube algorithm.
If you don't
And
understand anything that we talked about, don't be disappointed.
yeah, and
Um,
don't be shy. Just press the like button, just the same.
yeah,
It's good for it's
and
good.
join us in the next episodes, because you might start understanding a little bit, little
Yeah,
by little.
slowly,
You will get
slowly.
there.
Yeah, slowly you will start understanding the
This
concepts.
is not rocket science, so it's just a matter of understanding the names and the things that we are talking about, and that goes with practice. So
Yeah,
join
it's
us.
all always a matter of concepts. And when you start understanding the concepts, it will be much easier to understand what hell we are talking about here. So we have a question for you guys. We are planning to do an AMA, or in this case, an AUA, because Ask Us Anything session. So if you guys are interested in having such a session, please let us
What
know here in the comments or in our
what do you guys
Telegram.
think? Do you think it's a good idea to have an episode where we chat about anything?
Yeah, we
Like
just
you guys
answer
put
questions for you
questions,
guys.
and we share our experience with that, and so on. Maybe if you find this idea interesting, please
Yeah,
get
let
to
us
our
know in the
Telegram,
comments, in the video comments, but
or in the
especially in our
comments.
Telegram,
Yeah,
especially in the Telegram. I think it's more useful there.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and gather the questions that you want to ask us, and yeah, we will take I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending on the interest of you guys.
Yeah,
But let us know if you guys are interested in that.
that is a cool thing, and if you guys think it's interesting for you, we are very happy to experiment with that. Why not? And yeah,
I think
if
that's
you
it. Yeah.
if you have any other questions about Ethereum, about scaling, about layer twos, about uh, this stuff that we talked about, if you want to create your own blockchain, if you want to create your own layer two, just get to us on our socials or Telegram or in our videos or whatever, and ping us, because that's what we are here for.
Yeah.
We are here
Don't be
uh,
shy.
to help uh, every developer to take the next step. This is not as hard as you probably think. It's not easy as well, but you can do it. Let's start more projects, do more
Yeah.
interesting stuff, and count on us. we are here to help you.
Yeah, it will be
Okay?
fun, guys.
So,
Okay.
again, thanks for joining us in our mission to decentralize the world
Wisely.
wisely. And it's very important. And we'll see you in the next episode, guys.
See you in the next one.
Cheers.
Bye.